6 hours and 40 minutes. 42% of your daily total awake time. That's how much time the average human spends on their phone each day. Were you expecting a higher number? Maybe this fact even makes you feel better about your own 4 or 5 hour screen time. But what if I told you that if you were using your phone like the tool that it is, rather than an easy dopamine hit, your screen time would be less than 45 minutes consistently? The estimated essential screen time use is usually 45 minutes or less. It includes 15 minutes of texting or calling with necessary information, 10 minutes of navigation or direction, 10 minutes on productivity apps like a calendar or banking, and 10 minutes emailing for work or school. Everyone's life is different, so this might look different for you, but there's no reason that your average screen time should be over an hour daily. Now let's break down how your time is spent. In your 16 hours of awake time, 8 to 9 hours are spent at work or school, 30 minutes to 1 hour on commuting, 1 or 1.5 hours eating, 1 to 2 hours doing homework or errands, and 1 hour of personal care or hygiene. This leaves about 4 to 6 hours of free time, and for the sake of simplicity, let's just say 5. Now subtract your screen time from the number of hours of free time. What are you left with? 30 minutes? 15? Most likely even in the negatives. Hold that thought. Now I want you to think of your biggest dream or goal in life, something that gives you a challenge that you consistently work towards. Imagine how much faster you'd be progressing if you exchange that 42% of awake time to being wasted on a screen to putting in the work and actually enjoying your life. Your addiction to your phone hurts you like actual drugs. I've been deeply intrigued by the similarities between drug and screen usage ever since reading Dopamine Nation, Finding Balance in the Age of Indulgence by Dr. Lembke. She explores the ideas of screen addiction, like the infinite scroll that keeps you yearning for your next hit, variable rewards like a funny video, then a boring one, then a great one, that creates variable dopamine spikes, and social approval in the form of likes, views, and comments that hit a deep psychological need. This makes it a lot harder to enjoy things like reading, being outside, or spending time with friends in person because the world seems dull in comparison to the never-ending dopamine IV of the screen. This is the addiction cycle. Binge, tolerance, withdrawal, craving, and continued use despite negative consequences. These can obviously be applied to the use of a typical drug, but let me put it in the frame of your addiction to your screen. Binge, you spend hours on your screen feeling like no time has passed at all because of the distraction it provides. Tolerance, you increase your screen time because you need more to feel the same enjoyment you once did. Withdrawal, you start to feel irritated, bored, and anxious when you're off the screen. Craving, you grab your phone even at family dinner, when spending time with friends, or when you have something really important to do. And lastly, continued use despite negative consequences. You notice your productivity declining, you notice your apathy increasing, and yet your screen time continues to rise. An addiction to your phone can be even worse than an addiction to drugs because you can regain your health, but you can't take back your time. Ridding your addiction to your screen isn't like other drugs. You're not going to die from withdrawal. That's why I found that the best method is to quit cold turkey. Convince yourself going on your phone is no longer an option and adjust your life accordingly, using your phone only when necessary. For example, my 30-minute screen time consists of texts to my family, checking messages on Teams and my grades, using my calculator and completing the occasional Wordle, and I love life a whole lot more than when I had a 6-hour screen time. In order to achieve this, I made small changes to get my eyes away from the phone. I pulled out an old notebook to replace my notes app. Did you know that they still print magazines? Get your inspiration from there instead of Instagram. I even got an analog wristwatch because I found myself getting distracted by notifications when I checked the time on my phone. Self-binding, or making intentional changes to prevent yourself from doing something, can be an effective way to reduce your screen time. But I found that you cannot completely break your mental addiction without making a promise to yourself. I will no longer abuse the privilege of having a phone. When I first quit cold turkey, I found myself replacing my screen time with more productive habits, naturally. I am a naturally outgoing person, but my screen was holding me back from new interactions. For example, After school, I used to wait half an hour every single day in the library for my ride to come pick me up. During this time, I would typically scroll on Instagram Reels, send snaps, or engage in some equally useless activity to help me stay entertained while the time passed. But when I stopped abusing my phone, I realized that sitting in the library was actually pretty boring. So I opted to sit in my school's courtyard with a friend instead. However, her ride arrived much longer before mine did, and I found myself sitting in the courtyard alone, except for one other girl. She looked vaguely familiar, but we'd never spoken before. Ignoring my instinct to pull up my phone, I approached her, first complimenting her outfit and asking if I could have a seat. She wasn't annoyed by my appearance at all, and we had an engaging conversation until my ride got there. Had I chosen to stick my AirPods in and watch TikTok like I wanted to, I would have never made a new friend. My decision to move to the courtyard from the library was also influenced by my newfound love for nature. An unexpected change for me was a deep desire to spend time outdoors. Never before had I been so eager to spend any and every moment outdoors enjoying the sights of nature. My hypothesis is that once I cut off my main and most consistent source of dopamine, scrolling, the dopamine released by smaller things like enjoying nature become a much greater high to my system. Cutting out the screen enhanced my life, making me see things clearer and feel things deeper.
It was no.
He is a liar, as you say?
Well, absolutely.
Why did you work for him?
Savannah, slow down.
I've probably told dozens of people about my screen time experience, and out of them, 0 people have made the same commitment I did. I'm often met with looks of shock, confusion, or even that of someone who's impressed, because it's absolutely unheard of for someone my age in America to have such a low screen time. I think because a screen addiction is so commonly accepted and has very few physical detriments, we convince ourselves that it's perfectly fine, especially since everyone else is doing it. Those of us with a screen addiction can look into our own lives and not identify an issue because the unhealthy habit is so ingrained in our lives that we don't know what they would look like without it. Your potential grows smaller with each hour you waste on your phone. There won't be enough room in your head for intelligent thoughts if you stuffed it with random nonsense. So if no one cares, why am I still making this video? Well, frankly, my hope is that even one person might see this video, understand it, and free themselves of their addiction like I did. If that happens, the world will be a better place for it. In conclusion, I hope that something I've said has stood out to you, if not everything, because it's getting harder and harder not to care about this global epidemic everyone seems to have accepted. Think of one thing on your to-do list. When this video ends, shut down the device you're watching it on, complete the task, and don't open that device again until tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is my first video, so I don't expect it to blow up or anything, but if you felt affected by this video or have other ideas or commentary you want to hear, don't be afraid to drop a comment down below with some feedback. Bye!